Zach, and I'm just talking in my normal voice.
You're fine, man.
Okay. We ready?
We are indeed.
All right. This is BleedTV, the only podcast today's best shows and movies. I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cash.
Got The Walking Dead tonight. What episode was this? 3? 4?
4, I think.
Jesus.
God, that's terrible. You can't
I've
figure
looked
that
at
out.
this IMDb like
I thought
4
it was
times.
5.
I think it's the third one.
I thought the nightmare was almost over.
No, it is 4.
It's the fourth one.
It is
Okay.
4.
Some guy.
Directed by Dan Liu.
Dan Liu. Okay.
Or Liu, however anybody cares to pronounce that.
Yeah, I won't take a stab at that one.
Yeah. We don't have a great track record with that. But anyway, some guy. So what y'all think overall?
I got to be honest, I think your text message you sent to us, or we have a group message that we kind of talk about what we're going to do for podcasts and stuff like that, and I thought it summed it up perfectly. This episode was pretty strong until the worst ending I can remember in a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I put on there.
Yeah, and I mean, it pretty much describes this episode perfectly.
Yeah, because you know what was great about this is that I love the first 5 minutes more than anything. Is because what did we complain about last week? Is that 50 cal rounds would tear humans apart,
yes,
and make enormous holes like that. And my man Nicotero puts these bodies with enormous plate-sized craters in them, and part of that. And I was like, hell to the hell yes. I was so proud to see.
I was loving the practical effects that they use, and just
Amen.
like you said, the holes, like you see the gore on the inside of these things. I was like,
so I think we all agree. Like I said, it started off strong. The episode just kind of petered as it got about 3/4 of it, and then it just was like punching me in the face like retarded with some things that they were doing and stuff.
Honestly, I didn't have a problem with the entire episode. You know what I mean? Like, as far as it going down at all, even. I thought it stayed pretty steady, enjoyable for me. You know, I liked the writing for King Ezekiel.
Yeah,
I mean,
that didn't beat me up this time.
His path through this episode, I thought was fun and excellent. You know what I mean? And like made sense.
Even his wartime speech, like I was ready to fight with him.
You know, there were so many people who bashed this speech. Like I was looking at social media. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but like Funny or Die does a weekly deal where it says what's wrong with Walking Dead, and this guy just gets on there and just like completely bashes Walking Dead from start to finish the entire episode.
Well, I mean,
and sometimes he's on point, and sometimes he's just being ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm bad about that too.
Yeah,
and I think Cash and I are both very highly sad when he talks too much, because that old English garbage, King speak, gets a little just nonsense after a while. This was the strongest I've seen of it, because he was like emotional when he gives the speech.
And it wasn't so many of that classic English, tidbits in it, like the death.
It wasn't
they weren't
like
beating you to death.
Shakespearean or
right.
anything like that.
He was just kind of being true to the point without having to do all that. Yeah. So I agree with you. But yeah, we'll just get to the end and talk about that. But that's what I hate. Like the episode started really, really strong, and then the end was just like, man, just a head.
I'll say this is Ezekiel's best episode.
Oh, hands down.
I'll agree with that.
Of all.
But I also say this is his first episode where he is the true lead of the episode too.
I agree, but I thought Carol got quite a bit of screen time on this one. You know what I mean?
Which shout out to giving us old
like
Carol
I said,
back.
I put it on Twitter and Facebook. I said Carol and Jerry make the episode much more memorable and enjoyable for me on this one.
Oh,
so,
no.
I totally agree, but it's like it wasn't like they were enjoyable because Ezekiel was bad.
No.
I thought it all kind of flowed together. Even the weird guy with the glasses and the
he's a comedian in real life. He's hilarious.
I wasn't real sure where they were going with his look and stuff, because he looks like a 1980s nerdy trailer park dad.
He looked like he had actually walked off Stranger Things cast, screen set, and walked over to Walking
Absolutely.
Dead. Like, am I in the right place? You got to roll. That's what it looked like.
Is this C20?
This looked like.
Is this the dad off Goonies?
No, who was the girl that was best friends in Stranger Things?
Is this Barb?
Barb's brother. This is Barb's brother. Yes, this is what I thought immediately. Barbie Carnate, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, yeah, I know what you're talking about there. But let's dive into the episode and just get into it. Like you said, they do a little bit of the. This episode has now. Some people are really indifferent on this. This has the whole mini flashbacks before things,
which they've been doing all season.
And I thought, like, he opens up with him dressing, and then having the the conversation and speech, and then it gets to this giant group hug. Now I thought the group hug was okay, but then
but the thing is, this is the mini flashbacks. This is the Tarantino effect, where it's like we're here and this is how we got to this point. Stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times where I felt like the editing and the flow was much better.
It was
than in past, when you're like, oh, you're messing up the momentum. Stop.
Right. Well, the difference here is that we had all the action, and now we're going back to the emotional part of why he kept saying we're not going to lose any of our ranks, and why that was so important to him.
And I still smile.
Us not having that the first time when we were having that episode, we were like, shut the you know what I mean? I'm tired of hearing it.
We're done.
And then they give us this 5-minute scene about how emotional he is in this speech and all that stuff like that, and it makes more sense. So when you see them, he's under a stack of bodies like that, it makes so much. It hits you harder. It makes more sense.
I just hate that it took us 4 episodes of trying this to actually get it right.
Well, the thing is the other episode when he talks about this in Still I Smile, they made it look like that's the first time he said that.
Right. But
so,
his speech, he kept saying, yet I smile.
Yeah.
Yet I smile.
So it's like...
We should have shown this one a lot earlier.
I feel like this flashback would have been really good in that other episode.
It would have.
You know what I mean? Because that part wasn't necessarily necessary to this. More of the parts where you see the mom tucking the flower, the husband kissing his wife and newborn baby. You know, that stuff I think fits with this episode.
Much more.
His speech that was so emotional and stuff like that would have fit on that other episode when he keeps saying it. So it's like that's a simple miss, you know what I mean? But it's not like it was bad for this episode.
It wasn't.
It was good.
No, it made this episode a lot better.
Well,
but
it made you really appreciate Ezekiel, thus liking his character that much more early in this episode and him maintaining that strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
no,
so,
I thought he was very strong this episode.
Very, very strong. And 100% agree with you on that.
And I'm always just a fan of like the preparing for war scenes. Like those.
Sometimes that's one of those things, either you love them or you hate them. You know what I mean? Like either you got Braveheart and you throw the sword out there and you're going for your death, or you have somebody go up there and completely butcher it and you're like, somebody throw an arrow on this guy and can we get a new speaker, please? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's one or the other.
Unfortunately, you know, they kind of like, you know, in a way they give away the goat before, you know what I mean? Because why does this chick have an orange armband around her arm? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
they put all these teller markers.
They
on
put all these Chekhov's armband and you know,
exactly
Chekhov's hairline.
Right.
You know,
it's just like what was that Mel Gibson movie where you know that he's the first one off onto the battlefield and the last one to get off. You know, we are soldiers. We're soldiers. It's just like the main character wearing that wristband. You know, that had daddy like that, and that was his signal. You know, his indicator, his Chekhov's wristband. Yeah. You know, for when they're checking the body bags, all you see is his wristband. You know what I mean? Like it's that little thing. You know,
that's what I'm saying. So you knew, at least people that watch a shitload of television and movies like we do, knew as soon as they show the lady, not the fact that she was tucking a flower, it's the fact she has an orange random armband on.
Right.
So it's like,
but the flower didn't help.
I'm just here. I'm a marker.
That'll be a dead person. You know, 5 minutes from now.
Right. You know.
So it's like, don't beat us over the head with it. You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing is that most of the people that were in his group, there was big key indicators. I don't know if y'all realize that there was a humongous African-American guy in the background.
Oh, my God.
This guy looked like a WWE wrestler. He was enormous.
Are you kidding me? He was on the screen.
Guess what? You saw him, and then guess what? Next time you saw him was just his zombie, your walker, coming at you later because he was enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, like everybody had a key.
If anybody took one of these 50 cal shots and lived, I was expecting him. Yeah. Like, he could have just caught the bullet.
Right. I mean, it was just... So, like you were saying about, there's so many key... They made a lot of key marker people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And Ezekiel had a pile of people on top of it.
4 people.
Now, I saw 3 people in his proximity when he jumped on him.
I saw 2 people tackle him.
See, I thought I saw 4.
No. I thought I saw 3, but I saw like 2 go on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the whole deal there. You know, again... Just to be that ass that I can be on details. Did you see anybody take a bullet and not have an exit wound? No, because you wouldn't. Because it would blow you in half. The guy who took 2 shots in the back as he was tackling Ezekiel means it would have gone through him, the next guy, and the next guy, and then the dirt.
About a mile into the ground.
Right. I'm just going to put it out there. Okay. So
Ezekiel's still dead. But
exactly. Anyway, we all know that's not how he's going to die. You know, it's just what it is. So Yeah, he pushes the 4 bodies off of him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The orange-haired guy, or the reddish-haired guy like that, was one of the people who ran over to tackle him. Am I not wrong?
He was the one that said not one, where like that. We didn't lose a single one.
Then,
but I don't know if he tackled him.
I could have swore he was in that group. But then his body was nowhere near the pile.
I don't think so. I don't think he was one of the ones that tackled him.
Anyway, I knew he was toast. I mean, there was no doubt,
Hello, random no-named person that gets
Again,
words.
All right, so the last episode, we talked about how I mentioned I would love for this to have been like John Rambo, where you literally see people being blown to bits.
Yes.
With the giant craters and holes and arms going everywhere. Okay, what they showed us in the scene of that episode was people going, ah, and falling. Okay, no gruesomeness, barely see blood, the whole 9 yards, except for the guy's back who takes 2 shots, right? Then you see the carnage. Brutal carnage. So this bothers me because it doesn't match what they showed you originally, which is disappointing, but I'm happy they went ahead and went there.
I'm glad we at least got the carnage.
The thing is, we only saw 3 seconds of gunfire.
You saw 4 people get shot, and then the guy take 2 rounds over on Ezekiel.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's what I'm saying. Milliseconds of what happens. They kill the entire group almost, other than 1 dude or 2 dudes. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we didn't see everything, obviously. I mean, there's
Not
arms and legs and things laying around.
Bits and pieces.
Parts everywhere. So, that's cool. I thought they did an excellent job with the chick that gets up and her arms missing.
Yes.
And they just show her back. She didn't even turn around, I don't think.
What's great about this is that you could not tell if this was practical or CG. It looked completely legit.
Oh, no, it all looked fantastic.
Yeah, like you didn't see an arm stuck behind her shirt or nothing like that. It was just really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, all the gruesome effects were spot on. They're really, really spot on. I really hate that people turn ghost white, sunken in face within hours.
I was going to ask you about this because,
it just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
I didn't used to pay attention until this season.
You've been preaching it all this season.
I'm serious. I mean, think about it. How many times? Think back to season 2. Shane dies from a stab to the chest, right? Mm-hmm. When he gets up, his eyes are different. He has a little bit of blood on him and so on, and there's moonlight that makes him look a little bit whiter, but that's it. I mean, his it's a little veiny, stuff like that. But these people have like deep gray and white shadow in daylight.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they've been dead for a month. I mean, think about it. When somebody dies, I mean, they don't turn or change or anything for days.
Well, no, they do turn white when you die. You go super pale. But, okay, show us a super pale person.
Right.
Show the heat
sunken in,
leaving, the face. And
so that the blood has stopped.
Yeah, the blood's gone cold. That's fine. Show us that. But you can't show me the veins. You can't show me the eye sockets are sinking, the cheekbones are protruding.
That kills me is they open their mouth and their teeth have all they've been eating, they've been eating shit sandwiches.
Yeah,
all of a sudden when they died, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they were pearly white when they die, they're going to be pearly white. And when he goes to open them up to bite you,
yeah,
that. I understand you're trying to make the effect that it's a walker.
Mm-hmm. But we already know it's going to be a walker.
But the idea of going ahead and proving somebody's a walker, we're past that. We're past the whole, you have to have every single check off when it comes to what a walker looks like.
I'm trying to remember what Merle looked like. When Daryl comes up on him after he's changed.
He was just pasty, white, his eyes had changed, and he had a gunshot wound. He didn't look sunken in, and
I don't remember him looking sunken in. I'm just trying to remember he already had white trash teeth and stuff like that. So it's I don't know about that.
But when they found him, he was eating somebody.
I think it started probably with Sasha because I think she was very sunken in, if I remember correctly.
They definitely made her pale, and they gave her darker shadow lines of her face, and her eyes turned. And when she opened up, she had all these nasty teeth. I don't know. I guess she had a sandwich while she was in the coffin.
Well, she did have the pill, and so maybe homemade acid pill.
Stretch. I'm just saying those are your things. You're going to have contacts to mess your eyes up. They're going to make you all pale, and then for some reason their teeth just turn disgusting.
And you,
that's just what it is. Like you've been chewing on seaweed and opened their mouth. I mean, I just don't get it. But anyway, I just one thing I just keep noticing. I'm like, all right, I want to see this. And then so all these people who get up, yes, you're pale, all this stuff, but don't make it look like your eye sockets have sunken in an inch.
Well, the thing is I can't not pay attention to it now that you've brought it up since day one of this season, because now I look for it like
Yeah.
immediately every time. I don't know about you, Cash, but it's
Oh
like
no, I'm seeing it every single
every time I'm seeing
And
it.
is it
now.
not just? Am I not on point?
You are.
No, you're on point.
I mean,
I wish I didn't know.
I wish.
Yeah, I
wish I had said
yeah, I
nothing.
wish you had just never brought it up.
Well, just I have enough shit to bitch about on this show. It's like, oh, well, we'll just throw that on the heap.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, to be honest with this episode, I think there's a lot to say about King Ezekiel, but there's not a lot to say about the episode.
No, it was really
It's all centered around two big 50 cal machine guns,
Yes.
yeah. That's what the whole
And
episode
and
about.
that's it.
Yeah, you throw in some dynamic and a loss of a character.
Well, I'm just talking about as far as the
Plot-wise.
the plot of this episode
Yeah.
is around that.
Well, it's all taking
throw
place
in
in this one area.
Ezekiel's path along the way. You know what I mean? But it's still focused on those guns. You know
Well,
what I
if you
mean?
think about it, this is the third episode in a row we hadn't even seen Negan. We're all about just the people and what's going on with the skirmishes around.
And we do a good job of like keeping his name relevant in the show and everything.
right.
You know, we had this guy say, "I'm Negan," 2 or 3 times. Morales said it.
You mean when he spoke into the microphone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So King E gets up and he's going over to his buddy and he starts to cry and weep and everything like that. And I'm really kind of surprised that there wasn't like, okay, there he is, and continue gunfire. But of course, you can't kill him.
Yeah. And they were already dismantling the gun.
Correct. But you notice that he got up. Did he get up before or after they started dismantling the gun?
I think like right at the same time.
Because they show the scene of the hug, and then he comes out of it, and then you see him crawling over to a person and start to weep, and then they show the gun dismantling.
Well, they show everybody else has left the room, and like one guy is dismantling the gun.
Right.
So it's like, okay, show's over. You know what I mean? We got to get these guns moved like now. So it's like, okay, I understand that. I wish Ezekiel hadn't yelled out,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
screamed out, because I was like, hey, man, don't draw so much attention to yourself. All
Exactly.
they got to
That's
do
what
is
I
just
was
like spit it your way
Yeah.
and you're toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he starts yelling. And then also I'm like, hey, if any of these people are dead, you're waking them up too. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
or you're getting them
There
onto
was
you.
no like real positive reason to be yelling in any shape, way, or form.
Okay, something I was concerned about that they did, though, he was grazed in the leg.
Yes.
A grazing.
Yes.
A gentle grazing.
Boy, I'm about to get on my horse when it comes to this leg injury.
But I wish they'd have shown something that would have forced him to not be able to walk. Like, it hit the bone or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, show his leg is broken. Or his ankle is broken. Or, whatever the
I would
case
have
may
liked
be.
him to look down and you see, like, the bullet took a huge chunk out of his ankle. Not something with bone where you're crippled. Because if it hits bone, you never walk normal
Yeah,
again.
I don't want to take his leg out.
I would like to have seen him go down there and have to wrap it up like super tight and maybe like having to grit his teeth, like that, and like he's bleeding out of a boot. Make it like that where it's a wound that is so detrimental, but it's not crippling for future. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm with you with what you're saying. Exactly.
Like, even if they had like shown it where he like pulls his sword out of his cane and has to like strap it to the side of his leg, like a brace for a break.
A stent. I mean, or
Yeah.
a splint. Yeah.
Yeah, a splint for his leg. I'd be like, hey, that'd been cool. Just the wound they show, looks like a graze, looks like a cut.
Right.
And it just doesn't make sense to me that he is just so debilitated that he can't barely walk.
The moon doesn't match the moon. The wound doesn't match the effect he gives for it.
Yeah. And the thing is too, it makes for a lot of tension, so that's cool, but I also don't like him scooting on his butt backwards.
No, that made no sense.
Because that's even harder on your body to do.
To me, you get up and you can hop one leg and get out of
Yeah.
there. I guess you just don't want to look good on TV.
Or just like bear
doing the
crawl.
one-legged hop out of there. You know what I mean?
But my thing is they just showed the walkers a little too close to him while he's butt scooting. Like, and then he would just stop for a minute on screen, and you're like, come on, man. They would be on your ass now.
So what about y'all thinking about that all the walkers seem to wake up basically around the same time?
Well, I'm
I'm
glad they
fine
woke
with
up around
that.
the same time because they all got
That-
killed on the same time.
Right, but in the past we've seen it where some walkers wake up quickly, some wake up later, something like that. Because if you
Yeah.
think about it, in the Walking Dead universe, they make up their own rules, and for several seasons They even talk about it and comment on it about how some people come quickly, some people take longer.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? They don't show everybody get up.
No, I mean there are differences
yeah.
in time between different ones.
And even he goes past several bodies that never move. You know what I mean?
I mean, he literally went over, like, crawled over one of the bodies.
Yeah, there was a chick laying down that he goes like right past, basically.
I mean, I would try to avoid that one, maybe.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't be anywhere near any of them, but I
Also-
don't know. I just as much as I liked it, I didn't like his butt scooting.
Yeah. So one rando runs over there to help pick him up to save him.
Yep.
Guy doesn't even have a blemish,
No.
blood on him, nothing. And he comes over to help. And this is about time they cut over to Carol, and she's worked her way into the building. Mm-hmm. And so,
Okay, so key things we don't see. You know, we would have seen Jerry if he was
there was
dead.
no big body with an axe.
You know, we would have seen Carol, obviously.
Oh, if they had shown Carol laying there with giant gaping holes on it, I'd have been so mad, but also like, wow, bravo.
Yeah.
Just to completely kill a massive character completely off screen like that.
I'd have been pissed.
I'd been pissed too, but
I
like,
would have been kind of okay with it. Been like, man, you kind of
it
treated
was just
this
like,
right.
can you imagine the backlash? If Melissa McBride was killed off screen and you walked over to her and she had enormous gaping holes through her, you know what I mean? And then you see her get up as a walker. Oh, no.
After she already survived all those bullet holes that she received last year, surely she could survive a 50 cal.
Yeah.
I mean,
So she gets in there and she makes this plan, and all four of these guys line up in this little hallway like that. And
Line him up, she shoots him down.
awesome.
okay, so here's the thing about this. I absolutely loved that you see these four guys just get mowed down.
Yeah.
So just me being detail oriented,
Well, one
I
guy
slow
gets-
mo this, and each one of them takes about 5 rounds to the body.
Oh, they get green.
Except for the guy closest to you doesn't have a single
hole.
bullet hole. in
Okay.
him. And he falls like the other four. So this is where you have his shot pack didn't work, but he falls anyway.
Because I saw that, and I was going to ask and make sure it happened like that, and I'm glad that
I was
you
like,
rewound
wait a
it.
minute. I thought I was like, I missed something. So I went and rewound it, and I looked. And the other three, I mean, they take it nasty.
Yeah, they each take like 5, and then the one guy
Okay.
that's closest.
All right, so just to be like ultra detailed, did you notice that like they all took the save 5 rounds at the exact same time? Mm-hmm. It's like within milliseconds they had all 5 rounds center mass to the chest.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course the one guy didn't. Okay, now, let's think about where Carol is when she's making these shots.
Well, she can't even see him.
She can't see him because she's in the ceiling.
Yes.
Okay. If you look at that ceiling, it's got spray pattern.
Because that's the only
Physically impossible
for adult.
for their wound pattern to what happened and where she was. I mean, that right there, that's trick shots.
Yeah, well, I'm just like,
I could care less because here's the deal.
it must-
it was
Rule of
bullshit.
cool
It was
overrode.
bullshit, but the rule of cool and
Yeah.
their effects were awesome.
yeah.
Overrode all of this.
I think this was just super cool. Obviously, they're not getting hit center mass if she's shooting from up above them at that angle.
With like
it
an
should have been
AK-47.
all head, neck, and shoulder wounds.
But not only that, she would have been lucky to hit each of them once.
Yes. Because she
Considering
can't
she's
stand above
carrying
them or
an
anything.
AK-47. Okay.
No, not an AK at this point.
Oh, she's got an AK. She's got.
No, she gets AK later.
You're right. She does.
She's got some kind
got
of
like an
She's
AR.
got an
automatic
M4
weapon.
AR.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. Either way, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that the chances of you hitting each one of these guys 5 times. First of all, that's a 30-round clip,
Yeah.
and there's 4 guys. Okay,
She might
so
be
if each
lucky.
of them took 5 rounds. Let's go ahead and do the math here. That means she was 20 of 25. Okay, or 20 of 30. I'm
Without
telling you,
even looking.
and without even looking and looking through and hitting through a ceiling. This is quite impressive.
Yes.
Okay. That
Tara had to be in the room. She just wasn't shown in the screen
no,
or anything.
her smell was all it needed, plus 5 accuracy.
I just figured it was just like, this is the Zorg off Fifth Element. And,
Yes.
all the bullets just return to the same spot. After the first round, all the bullets return to the next spot.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, it was super cool to see those guys take the bullet wounds.
Well, it was
I like
cool to
that.
see 3
I
of them
hate
take
the
the
one
bullet
guy
wounds.
didn't. That they misfired on one.
Well, I was going to be super pissed if she was still just sitting there in the side of the room and nobody noticed her. So when the bullets start blazing them, I'm like, no.
She's literally 2 feet away with a muzzle next to 2 of them.
No way.
And sure enough, we just see the little
And then
panel.
sure enough, they pan up to the ceiling panel. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was so relieved at that I didn't give a shit about the bullet holes and what they did to him. You know, because I was like, if she's still sitting right there in the open,
I know it, man.
I'm a statue.
And I'm
You
still
don't
not going to
see
shoot
me.
you from the top.
White shadow. I was like, no.
Nah. Grandma here.
We can see you, Granny.
Yeah. All right. So she gets down and she just chunks this gun like, been there, done
No,
that.
first she greases too with the revolver.
Yes.
Well, no, when she's coming out, she just throws the rifle. Then she comes down, pulls the revolver out, greases 2 out of the 4.
Don't show who she's shooting, but I guess they're headshots. She's
Yeah.
doing.
Well, I mean, clearly the guy that didn't get the 5 shots in the back, he had to go down for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like,
Except that he was at the other end of the line.
Exactly.
She shot the fat guy that was mouthing and the one next to him. And these 2 took 10 rounds nasty. I mean,
Look at the flowers, you fat shit.
Oh,
That's just like,
she
all right.
really needs to say that before every kill now.
I know it. Yeah.
hope
Flowers,
she gets
bitch.
I hope she gets a tattooed down her arm.
Yeah.
Look at the flowers.
Instead of pay up sucker, it's look at the flower.
It's just
Without, she doesn't even have to get it. Just get like a sunflower field or something tattooed on her
See
arm.
my arm?
it'd be awesome. She just across all knuckles, green thumb.
All right, so sorry, it's hard to focus after that.
Listen to Bride if you,
You
need
start
any
doing the
tattoo
math
ideas.
on the letters. Green.
5,
5, baby. That's right. Perfect fit. I'm quick on my feet like that.
There we go.
Right. All right, so
Have any of us
all of a
lived-
sudden, this is when the helper that was helping King E get away just suddenly gets his chest blown out. And this is when the creepy guy off of Stranger Things set shows
straight out of the 80s.
Yeah. God, what was this guy's name? He said his name.
Nerdy with glasses.
No idea.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Anyway, this guy's look. Wow. And
I just couldn't get behind him for anything. Because I couldn't see him being intimidating. I didn't get him, even with a gun.
He looks like who's the guy that ran the Waco thing? You know what I'm talking about?
oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
Oh, he looks just like him though.
No.
Anyway,
So this guy, like, through the other little exchanges, I mean, like, King E's like, I'd rather die by the dead than by the hand of you. Great line.
oh, by the hand of no name,
Yeah.
no name henchman or something like that.
It's like, you can't kill. You don't even have a name tag.
And then,
Just
oh, dude,
go ahead.
the best line of the entire episode. And he goes, "You led all these people to death, and look, even after death, they're still following you." And I was like, "Damn,
Dude's got quick wit over there.
burn!"
I said he is a comedian.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it was like,
Yeah, we all heard your story. You know, you weren't. What do you say? You're not a carny or whatever.
Oh,
You work in a circus or something like that? A circus clown or some shit?
yeah.
But also, like this episode proved, we have no fear of walkers. If a guy who can't even walk
I'm happy you said that.
is
dude.
outrunning walkers, why at any point in time?
This reminds me back to the episode where we had the
With the rollers?
the rollers,
Yeah.
the walking rollers, where people were like, "Oh look," and they're like 15 feet away, rolling down a hill. These guys are letting them sniff each other
Oh,
right
yeah.
next to them, and they're like just having casual conversation about how you're a d bag. No, you're a d bag.
I'd rather die as I'm sitting on top of this walker. than
I mean, even when him and Jerry are stuck at the fence, I'm like, all right, no problem.
yeah,
really.
I don't even care if your leg is jacked up. Tear your leg off and kill him. I mean, it doesn't make a difference.
I mean, think about this. Think about this scene. And this episode even shows how there's such a difference on people. Do you remember when they're carrying King E later on, and Carol is just nonchalantly walking up to each one of them and just forehead?
Oh, yeah.
To the forehead.
Tell me this: we're each one of y'all when you're watching the show going, "That's exactly how it should look."
Yes.
When
Zero
when
fear.
you come up across walkers, you should have just, nonchalant. Another day in the neighborhood. You walk up, just
Oh, let me pull my blade out and just stab you in the head and
Hey.
move on.
yeah. I'm gonna hate
slow
to
down,
mention
guys.
this.
I got this real quick.
Yeah.
Fear the Walking Dead. Like in the beginning of it, when they have the fence line, and say, "Oh, we just got to go walk down and kill some walkers." That's what it is.
Yeah. It's like it's just like
routine.
cutting the grass.
Yeah.
Should
You
be
go out there and
routine.
cut the grass, just like you go out there and you stab the walkers in the head. It's the identical. It's the same mentality. I hate to have to do it, but it's got to be done.
Yep.
The city's going to find me if I don't cut my grass. If I don't kill this guy, he eat my cat. Bottom line is, I got to go out there and stab his head. I mean, it's just that simple.
Shout out if you still got a cat out in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, well, you hope, Shiva, it's my last chance.
Oh, there we go.
But that's the mentality. And so when you see them standing in the fence, I don't care if there's 25 coming at them. It's you died.
Especially
you're
with
died.
an axe.
You're died. Well, of course, he broke the axe handle off.
Oh, that's true.
He still had an axe handle.
Exactly.
These
And if
things
you-
are watermelon jugs. I mean, they're just
Okay.
nothing.
Well,
They're rotten cantaloupes.
but these are all fresh walkers that are all your friends.
Yes.
So that means that we've had this discussion too, where their skulls should be still nice and hard because they died a few hours ago.
Okay, so these walkers, if anything, these are the ones you should be afraid of.
Yeah, the freshest kill should be the hardest to get a head injury.
Yeah, because you're actually going to need a baseball bat or something at full power.
Right. And so when Jerry and King E, basically Jerry, okay.
First off, Jerry bisects this.
By far,
80s
my
douche.
favorite scene of the episode, of this whole season, is this guy's talking smack. And it does the classic cliche bad guy of telling you all the plans and how things are going and delaying the whole inevitable, I'm going to kill you, to giving you enough time for Jerry to come over there and literally
Slice
cut you
in
in
half.
half. Amazing practical.
I
effects.
only hated that it took him 2 swings. Because the second swing was already kind of off screen. Just give him
The
the
second
one.
screen was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've already split him to at least his belt buckle.
To pass where we can see.
It was so awesome to actually to be the camera within the V
Yes.
of what his body was.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
No, this is fantastic. Only thing I wish was that you would have actually seen him on the ground when they're all
pieces.
fighting the other walkers. But I'm pretty sure his body vanishes.
Not only that, I believe the walkers would have been feasting on him because he would have been in front of them before they got to the fence.
They're literally at the fence when he chops this dude in half.
And
Where'd
he's
his body go?
It's never there. Another miscue.
Because that'd have been super badass
Could you
to see
imagine
this,
the blood scene?
this body that's just a
Bisected?
Y?
Well,
a
yeah.
capital Y?
Reminds me of that. What's that movie you told me to go watch? Bone Tomahawk or something like that?
Oh, my God.
Okay, when they split a body in half
My stomach hurts.
the other way.
Yeah.
By the way, if you've
other
never seen
way.
Bone Tomahawk, now it is an Amazon. It's an Amazon movie, isn't it?
Netflix, I think.
Or Netflix? I think it's
Don't-
Amazon.
It's on. It was on both of them. It was on Netflix
Anyway,
forever.
it is Kurt Russell and a few other actors that are
Oh,
pretty
there's a
good.
bunch of them.
Yeah.
But it's death.
Anyway, it is the most crazy Western.
It is super awesome. I highly recommend it, and it has the worst death scene of all time
Of a male character.
of any character. I don't
It
know.
really, it really doesn't matter if it's male or female. If it died that way, yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It's just so horrific.
It'll change you.
It will change
It
you.
will change you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, minus the really strange, bad people, whatever like that. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Anyway, I wasn't mistaken that the body vanishes.
You were not.
No.
Okay, I was making sure because that'd have been super badass to see that.
Well, did you see
Split
Jerry start
thing.
throwing him
Well, that's
to
the
the
other
walkers?
thing too. If you would split him like that, and then you see Jerry grab it and fling him over his shoulder, where maybe he's in high grass next to it. He doesn't. He cuts through him twice, and then he helps the king eat up.
Mm-hmm.
So that body should be there, and it should be an enormous amount of blood.
Oh.
right there.
Oh, just
A pool.
guts and everything.
I mean, just
because everything would just fall in on itself.
Yeah,
So it's
and
like
this would all be in front of them where the walkers are coming to you. So they would have to trip over his dissected body.
that's what I'm saying.
And pass over free
Right,
food.
and pass over food to get there. So, if anything, they should have had a couple minutes to take a tea break while they're chewing on,
He should have grabbed each side of the body that he just split in half and throw it to the walkers to slow them down.
Right.
Just do what was it, the hammer toss where you just spin around in circles and then...
And the thing is, too, he already threw his jacket over the barbed wire. Give this man
A boost.
a boost.
Yeah.
Even his bad leg, get it on his good leg.
Are we seeing Jerry make it over this fence?
Oh, absolutely.
To me, I
Life or
think he
death.
could lay on it and then roll
Adrenaline.
over.
First off, put one of your fat shoulders into it, Jerry. This thing is going down.
Really, I think if you put the first step onto the midbar, it's just going to collapse. You know what I mean?
It's just going to scream out, I can't.
I mean, cyclone fences are strong, but Jerry, you're a big fella. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, give King, if he's that important to you, give him a boost and throw his ass
Who
over.
cares if you throw his shoulder out as he
Yeah.
lands on the road on the other side? He'll
He's
be alive.
safe.
Yeah, he'll be
He's
okay.
safe on the other side.
Well, safe-ish. There is a little bit of a firefight going on the other side.
Well, and my other thing is, Jerry, you're not, handicapped in any way. Throw him over and then run to the other side of the fence. Find a way in.
You know what I was happiest about on this whole little deal right here is that Jerry hit that lock 3 or 4 times and it didn't break.
Oh, I was so ready.
So happy.
I was so ready that it was going to break, and I'm like,
I mean,
this
if he had
would
swung
not
one
break.
time and that chain fell into 10 pieces on the ground, I'd go bullshit.
People, you're not breaking master locks or chains whenever a movie has told you
how big
beforehand.
your ass is and that axe is. It ain't happening, Jack.
And I
You're
like that he
gonna-
tried leverage.
You'll break your wrists before you break those chains or
I
locked.
was so happy. That's what they decided to do with that. I
Just
really,
carry
really
a bobby
was.
pin. It'll get you a lot further.
But I would have been super pissed if he would have broken 3 links of chain with the leverage too. I was glad that it broke the handle.
No, the fence gates would have gave before the chain and lock would have.
Absolutely.
That's the whole deal. Like, I hope y'all understand that. That's where it would have gone.
Attack the fence.
I mean, I hate that he broke the axe handle, but I respect that that's what happened. Because I mean, if he didn't, could you just imagine like him spinning with the axe and just seeing heads just woo, just going everywhere?
Yes.
It'd be like watching Kingsman. At the end of it, like
Oh,
poof,
God.
poof,
I
poof.
could definitely see this. He should have been going there like Zangief with the axe, just the spinning fists.
So,
yeah.
who would have thought bolt cutters is probably one of the top things you want to carry around in the apocalypse?
Well, especially if you're doing a skirmish into guarded areas, maybe. Who knows?
One of the things you see every once in a while is the people that do like the keyboard cleaner. They turn it upside down and they like freeze the inside of the lock and make it brittle before they
I've
break it.
tried that, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm not for sure if it would work or not, but at least it's like, hey, you put some
Thought into it.
science in there.
Yeah.
I have tried that, used the whole can. The lock stood nice and strong.
Right.
So I don't recommend
And
that
you were
one either.
fooled.
Yeah.
Thanks for wasting my $4 on this spray can.
Yes. What a waste. All right, so we'll sing with the weapons they have now. King E has a gimpy leg, and he has his blade from his cane. Okay, so
And was there any reason for the guy from Stranger Things to know that this cane was a blade?
no.
Because that really threw me off.
You've heard stories, but you probably wouldn't have ever known that he had a blade in there.
Yeah, I didn't know
Because
he
the
had
only
a...
people who knew King E
Yeah.
was the group of 5 or 6 guys
Who knows?
that came by. I had know where you're going with that.
Okay, 'cause
Yes. I thought it was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, your blade.
And then just I thought the guy was going to die before Jerry even killed him with just the knife wound to the stomach.
Yeah.
That King E
Of
was
course,
able to
the
get
guy
him
put
with.
the blood on his face to like show dominance and that you're a clown. And
I don't know. I kind of
stuff.
thought made it look, King E look like a badass. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, so let's talk about the weapons they're carrying. Now, Jerry has a broken axe handle.
Yep.
And King E has his little sword, right? So if you slash across someone's head, okay, with those 2 items, would that be an instant kill with either one of them?
No. Especially one was like a back left-handed.
In this universe,
Basically, if you sneeze on somebody's scalp, they die from a head wound.
Okay,
Yes.
well, the thing is, all right, so first, Jerry stabs an axe handle through the eyeball of one of them and kills one.
Correct.
That was already a little wonky, but I'll say the splinters killed it. The rest of the
It was
time,
more plausible than him swinging it like a bat, and it was just suddenly death.
Yeah.
but it was weird. I didn't think they knew what to do prosthetic or CG-wise to do with King E's slashes either. Because
Well, if you notice, every time
it would
you were
hit.
watching the walker from behind, never get to see him in the face.
or you'd see it from the side and it would just like turn its head. You'd see like a little line or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, because I don't think you'd have the force necessarily to cut it.
He would have to be poking
head,
them.
yeah.
It would have to be a stabbing jab motion to each one of them to kill.
And if it was stabbing, I'd have been much more,
Right.
reasonable with this. But the
They were both just
slashing of
hitting.
it, or cut their head off.
Right.
But instead, they kept just whacking him in the head with the.
And it just didn't match.
It didn't look right. I don't know.
Well,
It
I
just-
don't think
it
that
looked
blade.
flimsy. It looked real flimsy to me.
Yeah,
That-
the blade looks like
Yeah, I mean,
You're not chopping anything
Needle.
set off with that. Yeah,
You know?
right, exactly. It looked like a complete stabbing weapon, a small slice, whatever like that. Not a head blow death in one, blow, one
especially
shot.
because Jerry did it left-handed, backhanded. And I'm like, that's not going to have any power or
Like
anything.
Not only that,
a
too,
rapier? Is that what
when
it's
they
called?
did the scene of like him hitting like that, like he's overextending his body with the hits because like you can tell that he's whiffing to the person in front of you on purpose, and like it was real evident when they showed you the Talking Dead like behind the scenes thing at the end, like how far away these guys were when they were making the shots, and you could see that how much it affected things. Of how the visually came out, and so that's just one thing I just
I probably should have watched that just to get a little better feel of it.
Watching the behind the scenes made the scene worse. You know what I mean? Because I was already kind of like, that just doesn't look it doesn't match.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill a walker from hitting it in the side of the head with a handle. You're just not, and especially not with his little thin blade from his cane.
Yeah, see, I honestly, if he was stabbing with the knife or with the sword, I'd have been straight. And the axe handle thing didn't bother me too much. I'm like, all right, sure, he's a humongous dude.
Yeah,
He's caving heads in. I'll just give him that.
right.
It was
Billy
Billy
fine.
Club fashion.
Yeah, just straight up, axe handling these dudes.
Yeah. I
But-
wish he was doing it more tomahawk, like a true chop down.
Come down, yeah.
Come down the skull where you just see him and then just fall like that. The side motions is where it looked wonky, And so I know these little details, but I mean this. I put this out. I put this out on Twitter and Facebook too. I said the details of this show, coupled with the writing that is just all over the map, we will never be able to be in any award category ever.
No.
When you're the most watched show and the most laughed upon when it comes to a scripted drama for potential of awards. That's just the facts.
Well, do you think Walking Dead is becoming that movie that's so bad it's good, cult classic-y kind of thing?
I think I say yes. Because like even the producers and the AMC, all that stuff, we could take the show on for 10 more years, because their numbers, even if they continue to decline at the rate they're at, it'll still be better than most network television.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's what they have such
98% of
unbelievable
it.
numbers. But here's the thing: this episode right here, the lowest numbers in history, at 8.5 million.
Jesus.
8.5 million people watching a paid cable television show.
Yeah.
And that's their lowest numbers ever.
That's insane.
So, I mean, like, you put that into effect, and it still beat out Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, by a mile.
Exactly. So, I mean, like, you have to understand, like, they're laughing their way to the bank.
Isn't it so unfortunate, though, that like 15 million people watch Big Bang Theory?
God.
That hurts my heart.
That show's so bad. And, like,
It was funny for a little while.
No.
I'm sorry.
it's
thought
been
it was
all
funny.
laugh track. Ever since from the beginning.
You've been manipulated.
Yeah, well,
into
I
thinking.
enjoyed the first season just because it was something different and unique.
Cash, let's
I got nothing
stop
for
the
you.
podcast.
We're done. Sorry,
Executive
everybody.
decision.
We made executive decisions.
This will now be a two-man show.
I'm signing off permanently, evidently. Yes.
We found an axe handle that.
But you bring up a good point. I mean, you follow what I'm saying? Like, that's what I hate, is because when you look at all the other AMC shows, they're critically acclaimed because of writing, the acting, and everything else. And it's like, are we going to, Fear the Walking Dead, it's improved, but it's the same old. Ugh.
Well, now what pisses you off is the fan base, the amount of money they're capable of putting into the show, the good story, the source material is excellent. They have some good actors on the show that can definitely carry their weight, but the writing's not good enough for even the good actors to carry this show.
Well, and now part of it, now the good actors are being paid like good actors, and that affects how much money is going to get pumped into it as well.
I mean, like, the bottom line is that, Melissa McBride, if she can somehow turn bad writing into good watching acting. I mean, that's the
most part.
But the thing is, you wouldn't have called Carol some great actress when she first was on this show.
No.
You just love what she became, so you let so much slide with her.
Right.
Most of the
she
time,
does carry well now.
Most of the time, she's not talking.
Yeah.
You just love that she's going in Rambo. You know what I mean? So it's like, you don't have to worry about Carol. She pulls her weight with facial expressions.
She does.
You know what I mean? Rick has to do a lot of talking. Daryl has to do a lot of stinking. You know,
I
it's
was
just-
wondering where you were gonna,
There it is.
I was like, there's no way he's going to say
Well, it's a
talking.
lot of dead stares through hair.
yeah. So, I'm just saying, like, look at the difference that's happened with Father Gabriel. You actually like when he's on the screen now.
I love Father
You know what I
Gabriel.
mean? So they've done a good job with fixing certain characters. I mean, what's his name? Mullet.
Oh, God.
Eugene. The writers clearly have fun writing for him.
Oh, there's no doubt.
You know what I mean? Because that's just a ridiculous character they have to create. So it's
And see, they're taking his character so too far. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a windbag in the comic book, but nothing like what they've created. I mean, nothing.
I
like
don't
what
have any
they've
problem
created.
with what they've done with him. I think it's fun. It's one of the only light moments you're going to get on any of the
Well,
episodes.
you realize he's turned into like a non-effect character now.
Yeah, we haven't
Like
seen
you hadn't
him
had
really.
anything to do with him in a long time.
Well, and the problem is, based on what he's done, he's basically lost all his like weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Alexandrians are like, are they going to give up too much to save his life?
Definitely
And then we know the
He's
saviors
going to have
won't.
to have his redeeming episode sooner or later. Otherwise, it's
Whatever.
it's curtains for this cat.
Because, I mean, we've already tried to save him, twice now?
Yeah.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Anyway, okay, so
All right, so we're past. So now
we
Carol
got to
is-
catch up with Carol. Yeah.
Carol has now made her way outside.
So has anyone carried a 50 cal? Like, I have no idea how heavy they are.
It's quite heavy.
I imagine those are
I'm
Brownings.
going to say it's
Yeah.
over 50 pounds.
Those big Browning
It's a
machine
Browning,
guns.
yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a. Well, it's
I just
not-
remember these from like old like World at War Call of Duties and
It requires a stand for
Yeah.
it to be shot.
Well, like,
That right there tells you we're probably well over 50 pounds. There.
exactly, which is why, like, how quickly they
And
were
it's
moving
belt
with this
fed,
thing.
requiring two people to be able to man it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just had a little bit of a problem with how they were carrying it so fast. But
Well, I was happy to see him put it in crates and parts,
Mm-hmm.
and then two guys had to carry it, and so on. And then there was two guys who carried it to the truck. You know, and so a 50-pound object. I mean, you used to lift weights. You know what a 45-pound
Yeah.
weight is. You
That
know, that's
stuff's
cumbersome for you. I'm going to say this gun is probably a lot heavier than that.
God, man.
and then, like,
They
they're-
shouldn't have shown the scene with that gun all the way broken down in that crate. Because later on, the massive pile of horse shit that comes out.
Oh,
God!
yeah.
Well, just hold your horses on that because we will be
Wowzers.
barbecuing that at the end. Let's save the barbecue at the end.
Okay, so
Carol's out there.
Carol's out there. We get
three guys by a truck.
it's three guys. I like the fact that they take advantage that she does not look left
Yes.
and realize that there's two guys kind of watching their flank. That was cool. I thought that was good. Because you just assume she's just going to mow these guys down.
You do, but are you surprised she steps out to shoot him?
No reason to step out.
That's the part that bothered me.
Yeah.
I was thinking the whole time, like, you just reloaded a fresh mag,
You got
raise
a
up,
perfect
aim,
arm rest on that
start
pellet.
dropping them.
Dropping.
Because heck, you just killed 4 dudes without even looking through a ceiling. These guys, you could probably close your eyes, lift a foot up, hold an arm behind your back, and shoot broadsided, and you'd probably knock them down one by one.
I'm your Huckleberry. Just pissed drunk.
Right. Just hip shoot it while you check your makeup. You know what I mean?
It's
Like, based on what you
high
saw earlier.
And the thing is, she had the perfect armrest on that pallet.
Oh, yeah.
Just mount up on that thing. You just like sip coffee, wait, pick them off. Just
Exactly. So you drop them 3 like a bad transmission. And then, okay, so the other guys realize where gunfire is coming from. You just said, her stepping out, that's like
Ruins
grade
everything.
A rookie move.
That's basically like screaming before you hit somebody.
Right.
In every
She
movie
went
we've ever
from-
seen.
Yeah.
She went from in the hallway, Call of Duty multi-kill, got a helicopter, all the way over to, only thing needing is a noob tube and making a mistake.
Horrific kill cam of you just getting shot by the other guy in the hallway. Oh, I'm gonna get a triple kill. Oh.
Exactly.
Hey, guys, I'm on the kill cam. No, you are the kill cam.
You hit the record button a little too soon, bro. Because you're about to get it in the side of the head here.
So she steps out, and of course, 2 guys.
Knife. Son of a bitch.
So 2 guys are evidently waiting for her to step out, and then neither one of them hit her again because these guys are just god awful shots with full automatic rifles.
Yeah.
And so she's able to get behind this Ford Ranger, Now,
Bulletproof
I am
Ford
proud
Ranger.
of this Ford
They
Ranger.
put her behind the tire too, though. That's good.
They put her behind the engine and the tire, which is the
Engine and
best
tire.
location.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're shooting holes on his car. I'm proud that they're doing this. That you see holes, and the holes are realistic.
They're real.
They're not like that whole classic little hole with the huge paint missing and everything like, you know.
No, I like the fact too. They actually show, because I was watching it. They show bullets ting off of it.
Yep.
And bullets going in.
Right.
So it's like
They made
cool.
the full effect here like that. The only thing I was disappointed is that you didn't see the other side of the truck, which should have looked like Swiss cheese,
just like the
and
front
metal
side of it.
explosions everywhere, because all these high velocity rounds they're shooting through a Ford Ranger, which is thin sheet metal through a plastic door frame, maybe a seat, a plastic door frame, and then thin sheet metal.
Yeah.
It should have been like
It's gonna
a
look worse.
circus
Yeah,
of
yeah.
metal exploding on the other side of this vehicle. And not a single hole went all
And
the way
not to
through.
mention, you're just wasting a lot of bullets. It's like, you already got her ducked behind the truck.
All I know
Stop
is
shooting.
these guys, all of them must have had 3 or 4 magazines on them.
Easily.
Because this
Greasing
car
this
had
truck.
100 rounds in it.
100 it has hundreds
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
I
rounds.
mean that's plural.
Okay, exactly. So evidently, all these guys were stacked with ammo. Okay.
And then how'd you feel about the strange location of this gate button?
I'm pausing to refrain from cussing excessively. That we're right here, and this truck is conveniently parked right there, and this button is the only button that evidently says Gate 3.
Yeah.
And then, like, luckily, gate 3 is right behind these things.
I was like, what? I mean, like the only thing missing was push button here, dummy. And you know,
Press
I
in case
dare-
of emergency.
exactly.
Release walkers.
Okay, so this gate button is along a whole series of 18-wheeler
Yeah.
roll-up
docks.
gates, dock, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this button obviously must be for one of these roll-up doors. I'm like, how is this going to help? When she hits that button later,
And that
and the
gate
gate behind them opens up with a series of walkers, I almost vomited all over my remote. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's cool that, like, you know, she decides to hang her gun up on the mirror. She looks at it. She throws her
Gun
look at
out.
the flower revolver, you know, out there. How dare she scratch that up on asphalt?
I
By the
know.
way,
It's
that whole
ridiculous.
snub nose has been through hell and back.
Put some respect on that thing.
Yeah, you know. Hold on. Let me wrap it up while I thought about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
My murder weapon.
Right. So again, you know, she puts the whole "I'm sweet grandma. I make cookies.
So
I'm
how
in
do you
body
feel, like-
armor," and just killed a couple of you guys. But
You're in the middle of a war and someone just mowed down 4 of your mates. Like,
right. So, you know, she's like, "Yeah, well, I can tell you what's going on, like, where the other people are, and da da da." And so, of course, guy gets up there, and she's able to snafu and get a knife to him. I love how they pan down to show you the knife right before she does her move and puts it to his throat.
Oh, they got to beat you over the head with it.
Exactly. Like, oh yeah, don't forget this badass knife with the knuckles on it.
Yeah.
And then to the throat, you know, da 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 da.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So, this guy's name was Joey. Do you remember Fat Joey?
I do.
Is this like Skinny Joey, and they both get a nasty demise?
Probably.
Probably. I mean,
'Cause I guess if your name's Joey, you must be a cuss word on the set of Walking Dead. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it makes total sense because I work with 2 other Jakes, and it's Big Jake, Skinny Jake, and Yellow Jake.
Yellow
the big
Jake.
one.
Yellow Jake is not an Asian person either.
Okay.
Just make that totally clear from the jump. He is a clear person. He is a strawberry blonde ginger daywalker. I mean,
Wow.
this dude.
He's Yellow Jake.
He tans on a light bulb. I mean, it's bad.
Tormund's distant cousin, something like that.
Yeah, but it's pretty pissed off. You know, it makes me sick though because they call me Big Jake, or they call the other guy Skinny Jake, which is implying. So
You have some girth.
I'm Fat Jake. Man, that's what you're saying.
Husky
Yeah.
Jake. Husky
Husky.
Jake.
Yeah,
Husky, the man says.
yeah. A big bones. All right, I'm robust.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I have character. Way to put it.
But I know. I
have a
remember.
good personality.
I remember the first day I heard somebody go like, "No, it's Skinny Jake's." I'm like, "What was that you said?"
What the hell you say?
That's where you say thank you. It's like, oh, man.
You ever had your face buffed?
You're talking to me. And this is before Yella even started. So it's like, oh, this is fucked up. So now I know what y'all call me when I'm not around.
Yeah. Oh, Tubby over there. You know?
Not you, Skinny Jake. The fat Jake. So, yeah. So, yes, I feel Joey's pain here.
Yes. So, of course, they get the nod of, you're not really worth it, and just mow this guy down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was cool with.
I was happy
This
with
guy
that.
takes 4 or 5
happen.
shots to the chest,
Yeah.
and these guys are marksmen all of a sudden. It's pretty nice.
How convenient.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there waiting, and then they're pumping full of lead. And
They just
Carol,
need the first few hundred rounds to warm up.
So Carol hits the button and then lays back down,
Gets back behind her tire.
behind her tire. And so these guys proceed to continue to unload their rifles because they have no shot at anything as a viable target.
Oh, I mean, she survived the first barrage of bullets. We better do it again.
Right. So we went from shooting the car 100 times to a few hundred more times when she's not visible. After you are a marksman of dropping Joey with like 5-6 body shots.
No problem.
Not even same distance. So, I mean, but yet this car's got bullet holes in the tailgate, and she's at the front tire.
But I am glad that they're still firing their guns so these stealth zombies can get on them.
Unbeknownst to them, zombies.
Because
nobody
otherwise-
heard the gate rolling out there.
No.
'Cause I don't know if y'all have
'Cause
ever
machine
been to a
guns are
construction
greasing.
site. When those gates just
You
automatically
talking
turn
about
on, or the wheels, or the gear motor turns on because the gate is...
I mean,
Nobody heard this because they were all able to unload the 30 rounds in their magazine.
it would take a
at the
hail of
exact same time.
gunfire.
It was
to drown out
completely.
that thing.
It was completely plausible.
Well,
Completely.
to be honest with you, that none of them are wearing ear protection.
Okay.
So all their ears are ringing from just
do have that.
unloading machine guns.
You know what?
at
That
this thing.
actually makes things better.
That makes more sense if you think about it.
Again,
But I mean, we also see Carol touch this button and everything, and there's no reason to really look around to see what this button
Couldn't
could
see it
open.
through the Ranger.
Oh,
Right,
okay,
exactly.
the Ranger.
plus they had not shot out the glass yet.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
175 rounds that hit the vehicle, the glass was one of the last things that was hit.
And don't
That's
forget,
right.
they're over there looking like, there's not a button on that wall. Why the fuck would there be a button on
Exactly.
that wall?
It was brand new. It was probably installed last week. But anyway,
Yeah.
so again, the walkers come in and are able to,
Chomp on the back two guys.
Oh,
get
yeah.
back to guys, and only 2 survive out of all this. They run in front of this Hummer. Okay, and we get this
Shout out to the
dialogue.
original Hummer. Like that is one of the.
Still love it.
Yes,
Still love the classic Hummer.
no, there's no doubt. I've got to drive one. They're so fun.
Really.
But I'll tell you right now, they're just wide enough. The roads around here are just wide enough to fit it. So it ain't no. You can just leisurely hang out. You're going to be either off the road or you're in another lane. I mean,
They are
you got to stay
8
on
feet
it.
wide, I think.
They're wide. You can realize the whole transmission is where your console would be on your right.
Really.
Yeah, the whole transmission is the same level as your boobs in the car because it's all right there in the center of the truck.
Did not know that.
That way, and there's nothing under it. That's how they're able to have such high clearance and do all that stuff and everything. So it's pretty sweet.
They're big as shit.
They're
Oh,
awesome. Yeah, they're amazing. Anyway, you just can't take your eyes off the road with that monster because
Congrats
it'll
on
crawl
that
on you.
experience.
But luckily, when you're coming around the corner, all the other cars kind of get to the other side of the road.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
they
like,
see you're like, oh fuck.
it's like when you're playing Grand Theft Auto.
I'm not
it's
going to
just
limp
like
away
my
from
road.
this.
So the Greaseview Walkers, Carol decides to come with the ultimatum of, hey, you can come out or I'll grease you or whatever. And then she realizes that she sees King E and Jerry evidently about to get overthrown by walkers.
Hang on.
Okay.
She says something about, he says something about you can't have these guns. They have somewhere they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't she say, I can't let you take them back to the sanctuary or like that? And he says, they're not going to the sanctuary. Is it him that says it?
No,
I
don't-
thought it was the nerd guys saying, they got. I can't remember.
No.
I can't remember. Something is said about that.
Somebody says they're not going to the sanctuary.
Right.
I don't remember that.
I'm telling you, it's said. I don't remember who says it because as soon as it's said,
I know King E told the nerd guy that the sanctuary is surrounded by walkers. And he said, well, if we can get guns over there, we'll cleanse that problem. That was said, but I don't remember exactly about the 50 thing.
I'm telling you, it was said. It's literally said right before or right when the Hummer is going down the road and right before Rick and Daryl end up behind him. That's when it said the guns are not going to the sanctuary.
Right.
Well, maybe it was Rick or Daryl that ends up saying
It almost
off screen.
feels
like
like
it-
Rick is the one that says it, and I don't know why.
I'm not real positive.
Just to make sure that they don't get there. It's like we're not letting those get to.
Right.
I don't know.
Anyway, so Carol, by the way, Joey happened to have the key ring on him, by the way. You notice that she was able to grab that from his corpse.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Convenient. Joey was the guy who happened to have the keys to the gate. That's good. Good
Yeah.
call. Good call, Joey, being that guy. So
Since
she
someone-
decides to go over and save King E. Again, death shot. I mean, where was Tara? I mean, all of a sudden, da 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 da. 6, 7 walkers fall like it's a sack of potatoes. I mean, the girl is a death kill, death blow, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, she's earned it. Tara has not.
No. So, of course, she pulls out this lock, which is the size of a human fist, and unlocks it, and gets them through there, and the truck scoots out of there.
In
Goodbye.
the nick of time.
And then kind of get this. Don't get to get on camera, but then you get the whole sensation of it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. They're not going to get there because then you hear whoa, the motorcycle rev up as it goes by. They don't give you the visual. You just get the whole. Here comes the Jeep and the motorcycle following the Hummer. And this
This is by far.
The worst.
I'm talking.
This is up there with one of the worst scenes
To me,
In-
this is a top 5
in Walking Dead history.
worst Walking Dead scenario of film. First of all, none of the vehicles are going over 25 miles an hour.
I
Not a
would
single
say
one of them.
15.
Okay. Then you throw in the mix of we pull out a 50.
It's over.
When did he have time to put this together, first of all?
None.
Okay. First,
Pull it out of the crate, put
There
it
we
all
go.
together.
That's my first complaint.
Not only that, where was this sumbitch hiding? Was he under the tarp too? Okay, because he was not in the camera frame. So evidently he was under the tarp putting this bad boy together.
The entire
He was
time.
having an intimate moment with this thing while he's putting it under the tarp.
I don't
Okay.
know what the hell happens with this. And who greenlit this scene?
decision.
Okay.
First
Then,
off, the music. Is this the A-Team? Is this the fucking A-Team?
you didn't see
we
the
got?
van in the back? I
Dude.
mean, like I saw the black van.
Yeah.
Just
I saw a
rolling in the
gold
back.
chain somewhere.
Yeah, it was.
The music is horrific.
Oh, it's bad.
And then, Daryl just motorcycling along, shooting at it with the pistol, and then 50 cal comes and just
I'm out.
should rip him to pieces.
Well, not only that, it hits the pavement, and it's like ding, 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 right by his bike, and he wipes out. Right?
It hits Rick's Jeep.
At
Multiple
least 7 times.
Yeah.
It hit the glass. I went back and watched it. Like it hits the frame of his windshield, and another part, and then the only part that has a hole is the one that hits the radiator.
It would have blown this engine and radiator.
2 bits.
This car
To death.
would have looked like Swiss cheese, and he would be in pieces
Yeah.
on this highway.
Did nobody see John Rambo?
Did anybody? I mean, like, did you not realize in the beginning of the episode you showed what happened to a human body getting hit by a 50?
Yeah.
Do you not realize when you hit a piece of tin can, which is a vehicle called a Jeep, because I used to own one of the lightest vehicles on the road, that it would have shredded it?
Oh, it's going to shred anything.
It doesn't matter. Once you hit the radiator, once you hit the front of the motor with that thing,
It's gone.
He was already going 25, so it would have been a really slow turn to the left and been stopped.
But that's not what he does. He floors it
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Into gunfire.
into gunfire. Then Daryl comes out of nowhere.
No, wait. You missed the whole. The guy suddenly sees walkers in the road and has to swerve to cause the guy on the 50 to lose balance and fall over.
He does. Loses
Okay, so let's think about this. If you're flying at a high rate of speed and walkers standing on the street, okay, and you make this hard turn, okay, did you see the scene where he's making this hard turn? I mean, like, he's making little hairpin turns. You ain't flying.
No.
This is like the cone drill at driver's ed, okay?
No, this is-
You're not breaking 6 miles an hour. And it's- I mean, it's just about, I'm like, this is where I completely was like, vomiting all over my remote. Like, you've got to be shitting me.
You're in
that
a
they're
Hummer.
actually showing how slow the vehicles are going. You're actually showing a Jeep take 50 cal bullets like it's ding, 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 ding.
Like it's a Ford Ranger going
Right.
against.
I mean, like, oh my God.
It was bad.
Oh, and then
Rick just-
Daryl wipes out and then just magically shows back up behind
Not
Rick.
only that, he's the death shot again. Tara was in the back of the bike, maybe. I don't know.
I think I saw her on the back.
Okay, his 4 shots from his pistol on the motorcycle greases this guy. All 4 rounds take him in the chest.
Best shots we've seen the entire time.
Well, he should have just kept firing and killed the driver.
Really?
Just shoot him in the back of the head,
It's
Daryl.
still not over yet. Then Rick is able to floor it with his dilapidated Jeep that's got a hole through the radiator.
Fred Flintstone it all the way to the summer.
Up to the side of it. And again, they're going Mach speed down the street where they're able to be perfectly aligned and look at each other that Rick can get out of his Jeep.
Jump into the Hummer.
Not even really Jeep. He really just walked over and said hi.
Yeah.
All this completely unnecessary. This man's driving a 6,000-pound Hummer up against this 1,500-pound Jeep. A single twitch of the steering wheel.
And the Jeep's flying.
Rick is dead as shit. There's no seatbelt in this stupid thing.
Yeah.
He is so dead. He could just nudge him into the guardrail, and Rick is flying through the windshield. He is just butter on the pavement. But no, they're gonna leapfrog each other. You can't get beside me.
This is speed.
This is so fucking terrible.
This is beyond terrible.
Oh, it's so stupid. And the fact that they put that music over the top of it, it was just so cringeworthy. I didn't know what to do with this scene.
It's still not over.
I know.
So
it only gets worse.
It only gets worse. He gets into the Hummer, and they have a little quick brawl, and he stabs him in the stomach with this, okay? Now, I want you to think about this one, because I rewound this 10 times, because I was like, wait a minute, what the the driver falls out of the Hummer.
He gets thrown out of the Hummer.
Push, right? Okay.
Yep.
That means he falls out onto the left side, the driver's side, onto the street.
Correct.
The Hummer goes off the guardrail onto the right side of the road. Okay. Goes down. Daryl shows up, looks down there. Rick's coming out of the woods, the bushes, whatever like that. They stand up, and goes, I guess we better go check and see if this fucker's alive. And they go to walk down to the Hummer. That some bitch is behind you on the other side of the road.
No, I think they're talking about the guy that was firing the 50 cal.
Oh, no.
No
He was toast.
way.
He took 4 rounds.
The guy with the belly stab was the one who's got potential life. The one who took 4 or 5 rounds and just rolled down the hill in a Hummer without a backpack.
Dead.
He's dead.
He's
He's dead. Okay, because when you stab homeboy in the stomach, you didn't kill him. He
No.
went, oh, and then you kicked him out, and he's rolling. He's on the other side of it over there on the pavement. I was
Well-
like, what the fuck?
bleeding out.
I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, you got to be shitting me here, man.
This is what I was talking about. I wish we would have just finished the whole Ezekiel story before we got to this. Because I don't even want to talk about the rest of the Ezekiel story. I don't care.
No.
You got to finish the Zeke.
It's just... This was so bad.
Worst scenario.
If you can come up with another one, I'd love to hear it right now.
Anybody who can says there's a worse.
A worse scene than this.
The
Yeah.
Jesus food scene.
And I'm going
is
to tell you
pretty
something
bad.
right now. You and I possibly are not friends if you said this was an awesome chase scene, and what a way to conclude.
I will not respect your taste at all. That's all I can say.
Never post your opinion.
If you are going to come at us positively for this scene, just don't.
I mean,
It will be bad for you.
I'm sorry. It ranks.
It
Ranks.
It took a strong episode and totally just put a big fat brown
stink on
skid
it.
mark on it.
No, they just put a Daryl stink on it. Like,
It's them draws you'll never be able to watch and get right.
Yeah.
You know, every time you look at it, you're like, damn. Do I really want to wear those today?
it's like
I've
the
watched
time,
them 10 times. It ain't really changed much.
It's just basically a huge ass rash at this point on this episode. It is horrific bad. It just comes out of nowhere, first off.
is a shark.
Luckily, Rick and Daryl were just like,
Already in
get him! Get that sumbitch! You know what I mean? Just like, they were just ready to just go on a car chase.
So here, next little tidbit. Do you notice that after he hops out of the Jeep, and all that stuff like that, they have a scene where you see Daryl park his bike and look down there. If you look in the background, the Jeep just kind of mosed over and parked in the left lane. He didn't go off the road.
Imagine that.
It was also on the wrong side.
I hope the worst for this scene.
It's just that little extra salt on the wound.
Yeah.
Of like, are you kidding me? What I really wish I could have looked, I wish they had showed the side of the bike to see if it had actual damage.
There's no
I would
way.
have laughed if it was like it was pristine.
Oh no, it was just shine and wax
yeah,
and everything.
I mean, like the shit was awesome. You know.
No, they're not gonna show anything like that.
Let's get to King E so we can wrap this.
Yeah,
bitch up.
please.
Okay.
It's getting
So
late.
King E and Jerry and them like that. So they're having to carry him because his leg is that bad.
Yes.
And he's constantly saying, "Leave me behind," stuff like that. Get to the railroad tracks. They walk over the railroad tracks. Put King E down. Carol does what anybody at this time should have done: stab him in the head, stab him in the head like it's
Let's give us a little buffer room.
exactly no big deal.
Like
they take him
she's just
back
taking out
up
the garbage.
and walking back over the tracks to go this way. Did y'all catch that?
I did not.
I was too busy just
Still
Still
upset.
vomiting on
Yeah.
your remote.
scraping my tongue and try to remove the taste.
of this scene.
It's like Ace Ventura, huh?
Yeah,
You gotta where that
You could
goes.
have showered for an hour; it wouldn't have mattered.
that's none of your damn business, Dan.
So anyway, so then we went from this beautiful sunlit day by the railroad tracks, and then we went into the spookiest, wet, nastiest mud creek with the toxic walkers.
Okay, well, at least we found out what happened to that walker.
Exactly. So evidently these are what we call toxic burns from whatever was in the
Well, I said chemical burn, remember?
chemical like that. Okay. From these barrels that are in this ditch. Okay. And they have to travel through this ditch. Mm-hmm. It is required. Now, and like I said, if you're a comic book reader and you listen to our preview cast, this ditch has a big significance, which in the comic book there was nothing to do with toxic or chemical walkers.
Burn, yeah.
This is just some kind of remix special ad of, oh, by the way, 3 episodes ago, what befell this poor fellow, your walker here, and then 2
But
episodes
hey,
later
at
we
least
get
they
payoff.
paid homage to it. So I
Right.
mean,
So we get in there again. They're having trouble getting him out of there, and when all hope is lost and they're going to leave him behind, the amazing Shiva comes in there. And, man, this starts off strong. Shiva grabs his first walker and chunks his ass, and I was like, hell to
Chunks
yes.
him 20
Right.
yards away
right
behind
up
him.
the hill. I was
he-
super impressed with
because
this.
you know she's a freaking tiger going up against
Unfortunately, they
walkers.
take that badass beginning and then just shit all over it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, she does that. To me, she should be able to kill 5, 6 of them before maybe she's oversworn.
At a time, like one paw swipe from a tiger.
The next time, she grabs one's arm, and she can barely even pull it to him. But you can grab an entire walker and throw him 20 feet up the side of the hill. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it grabbed the walker's arm and, like, pulls to it, and then he's just like, you know, and, like, it's getting... and then it just gets mauled.
Do you imagine cornering a tiger?
no.
Do you think it lets it get cornered like that?
Well, first off, no. Or if you do somehow get it cornered,
She's running
it's
through
going
you.
to pick a path,
Yeah.
murder whatever is in front of it,
Yeah.
and then it's going to attack you from a different angle and stuff. I mean, we're talking about the
A
most...
killing machine.
is an absolute... It doesn't even have camouflage.
No.
It doesn't require camouflage because it will murder everything.
Like, just its paw is going to smash 4 or 5 skulls in
It's-
just a swoop.
It's frying pan with razor blades with
Attached,
just...
attached to a pitching
Maul.
machine. Like,
Let's throw the next part of this out here. It has a fur coat. Do you have the physical capability with your hands and or teeth to bite through its hide or its fur coat to even break what we would call its skin?
or the jaw strength to.
I'm just going to put it out there. And do you think that 6 or 8 guys, which we are big guys, could even hold that tiger down?
No.
That tiger weighs at minimum 500 pounds of pure muscle
Explosive
and adrenaline
muscle.
monster killing machine. No, man, this is crap.
You could take 8 of me, and I don't think we could hold it down. Even if I got it on its side
Yeah.
where it didn't have legs to leverage on, could I bite into it and possibly tear its skin? Could I take my hands and claw through?
Okay, even if you could bite it, it's not just going to lay there and take it. It's
No.
going to fight
Let's
like
don't think about it. Even if it's like on the side,
nobody's
could you imagine
business.
its claws? It would shred anything that it could move its arm on.
I hate this is how Shiva went down.
Like, I understand you don't want to pay for it and everything, but Just don't even put her in there.
Now, here's the thing. In the comic book, Shiva dies the same way. Literally the same way. She's saving Ezekiel, but she's overran by like over 10 of them. And so on. And it's in a ditch, like that, with partial water. So like it makes a difference.
Right.
Okay. Again, it's still far-fetched that you're going to be able to stop this enormous tiger. When you see it in real, like this version on TV, it makes it even more far-fetched.
Oh, it makes it like there's no way this is believable.
Even if they started scratching that tiger gets out of that and would kill any one of them. And it might come back that it's wounded or has bite marks in it like that.
Maybe,
but it wouldn't lay there and be bait like that.
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it dies of its injuries.
Right.
From being kind of ravaged.
Maybe.
To me, it would make more sense if like that thing kills all of them and comes out of there limping with a nasty wound and like that, and they
then
can't.
let Carol have to put him down.
Exactly. Look at the flowers.
Look at the green thumb.
You know what I mean? Or Ezekiel's able to say goodbye to it, or just something like that. That is much more plausible. It would have been much more realistic, and to me, I think would have been a better ending to the tiger.
Oh, no doubt, dude. The fact that it jumps down and tosses that first walker, which is super badass, to then just meekly, just like kind of go down, and let him over. There's no way.
Well, and like on top of just like throwing the one, it's just going to turn.
I
its
challenge
body.
you to go watch a YouTube video on National Geographic to see how a tiger reacts when it's being attacked by another fucking tiger.
Yeah.
And to see the sheer power and ability
of
what this animal can do.
You know what else it's going to do? It's going to throw its 500-pound body into you and just roll.
Yeah. I mean,
and not to mention, have you ever seen the ones where when they feed them like a goat and they like fling it up over the fence? They can jump
So just
like 10 feet in the air.
Yes.
From flat-footed.
Just go watch your house cat. Like, these things are...
It's the ultimate predator of its habitat. It doesn't have... It's not prey for anything for a reason. I'm sorry.
I was
just... a walker had a blade with him.
Yeah.
And was using it. There was nothing that was stopping
Unless
this
you
tiger.
have an assault rifle or something.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. Like...
Even then, I'm still not taking that person over the tiger.
That's the shit that bothers me, man. Is that I love this show to death, but if you're gonna make it a scripted drama and you want credit and you want these things and you're talking about it like that,
give me 50
you
walkers.
Got to give me the details that make it plausible. If you're gonna remix it and try to make it better, do it right.
I just think of it like you're a grown man. Can you imagine picking up any cat, any house cat, and trying to like put it in a tub of water?
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
If you do get into that water, you paid the price.
Yes.
Your arms are like...
You've paid a terrible price.
Right. A price not worth putting it into this water.
And when it touches the water, it's going to leap out.
Right. It is going to like explode, somehow use the water to jump off of
severely or your ass got bit.
Yeah.
And you are cussing like you know what.
Oh my God. It's like 1,000 paper cuts just from a house cat. It's awful.
And its claws are the size of less than a centimeter. The ones these have are over 2 inches long and could tear your flesh, where you bleed out in seconds.
Oh, and not to mention just 500 pounds of power behind it.
Right. And attached to, as Jake said, cast iron skillets.
Yeah,
I mean...
It's unfortunate, because I thought it was cool, too, right before this happens, when he's saying, I'm just a man, I'm not your king.
Right.
And
I love this
where his accent broke. Did you see the accent
no,
broke?
he stops. The accent.
The accent broke. It broke in the railroad, and it broke at the ditch.
And Jerry, at the fence line, Jerry was like,
no,
I need you to be my king.
And I can see that because, you need
Thanks
something
for being
to
such a cool guy.
cling on to fight for.
What's Jerry if he doesn't have that? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something, he has a role, and now he's removing that from him and stuff like that. So I was like, cool. This makes total sense. This is really cool. And then that is immediately removed with the Shiva scene. And then it even takes away a little bit from the grief that you see Ezekiel feel. And then, of course, episode cuts. I'm just like...
Yeah, and then to throw the blood in the water by the toxic can.
Oh, just dumb. I was completely over the scene.
Like I said, the last 15 minutes of this episode, between Shiva and the 15-mile-an-hour Jeep chase of the 15 caliber gun that was shooting lollipops.
the Rick and Daryl scene far out disgraced the show over the Shiva thing. The Shiva thing was disappointing because it's like,
I know what a
that's
tiger
how
can do.
that's how she's supposed to go out. That's fine.
That's how the comic book portrayed it.
So it's like,
100%.
okay, fine. If that's how she goes, that's how she goes. It should have been much more horrific for the walkers, but whatever. That
I will tell you, in the comic book, like the whole horde of walkers that catch Shiva, like they attack Shiva. You notice on this one, like they were just kind of like
Falling on top
slowly
of her.
going on top of her.
well, that was my thing. Is like you're cornering it. You're not.
You're not all jumping on it.
Yeah,
to eat
you're
it.
not excessively.
There was no body
attacking
weight
it.
holding the
Yeah.
tiger down.
So yeah, I was just a little disappointed in that, but disappointment is not the word for the Rick and Daryl scene. That is,
Daryl Stink is
It was
about the only.
astonishing how awful it was.
I literally just cannot figure out who greenlit that entire
I
thought.
wanna think about the editor that cut that scene
And said this
and
is
then, hell yeah.
guys, I think
You know
I've
what I
got
mean?
something.
Like, who's the guy that goes, oh, hell no. Get them guys back out there. We got to start this over.
Yeah, it ain't the editor's fault. You know, the editor's is like,
Like, making the best of what you got.
Jesus, I'll cut this together as short as we can make it.
If that's
know.
as short as they can make it, dear God.
Because there was actually a scene where like Daryl went by where he was standing on the bike.
Oh.
And was, and, you know, he was like this, standing on it with it on the
And then he pulls his crossbow out
across his butt and actually shot a tire.
Yeah.
They decided to cut that part out. You know?
through a fence.
Jesus, it had a note attached to it.
Yeah. Then there was one.
Shot it right into the rearview window. And it just said, "You're fucked."
It said pull over.
And then
over.
there was another cut where like he actually drove up the back of the Jeep like it was a ramp and landed on the Hummer.
Yeah.
And that's how, and his back tire spun, killing the guy on the 50 cal. That's what it was. And so
Honestly-
actually his mic became part of the Hummer.
Honestly, I would have been okay with that.
So this scene actually got better with
Yeah.
the way they did it. Yeah, no, that's just horrifically just so bad. It's such a stain upon a stronger episode that
it's just
that
like-
it completely. I could 100% forget about the rest of the good of the episode.
Yes.
And all I'm going to remember and all I'm going to focus on.
Is how much Jeep paid for to have this advertisement in this episode.
No, even
Jeep
Jeep
had nothing to do with it.
Even Jeep wanted nothing.
If
to do with
anything,
this.
Browning is going to sue for the weakness
Oh,
the
yeah.
50 cal was shown during this. Like that, how dare you show that gun be so weak? I would have tore that Jeep in half.
slander. Hey, what's the
Your movie magic sucks.
Browning suing them for defamation?
defamation,
Defamation.
Yeah. And I mean,
delamination.
I said defamation. I mean, it's at least close.
delamination. Your paperwork that fell apart. There you go. Oh my god. All right. So, what did y'all think? I mean, obviously, we enjoyed 80%, 75%.
Yeah, 70.
No, because it's 5 to 7 minutes of bad screen time.
Right.
The rest of it, I didn't have a problem with.
Yeah, there was detail problems, but the episode was entertaining
Yeah.
to watch. So
Yeah,
that's
it wasn't something I could focus on and piss me off. That 5 to 7 minutes, though.
yeah. The Jeep and a little bit of Shiva was like,
Oh my god.
Anyway, do y'all agree? Or do y'all think our opinion is like way too harsh, or are we too strong? Or
Actually, if you don't agree with our opinion, don't even talk to us.
Yeah.
Just go away and
if you want
bury
to
your
email us
head.
and say F you and your Walking Dead opinion, we understand why.
Yeah.
Obviously, you must love this Jeep scene.
Obviously, you're a big Bang Theory fan.
and Young Sheldon.
I mean, what an association there.
If you like the seed, you like Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
You're obviously huge fans of network comedy.
as well as action. Anyway, guys, again, we appreciate y'all listening. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all agree. If you don't, hey, appreciate you listening. And, sometimes if you want to converse with us, let us know.
Never
what's going
return.
on. Yeah. But other than that, guys, I don't think we have anything else tonight. Again, I look forward to the show. It has such promise. I hate that we have so many things we can talk negatively about, but it also makes for good TV.
It does.
So other than that, we're going to call it a night. This is BleedTV, and I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
Okay, we'll see y'all next week.